republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And here's Sophia with the announcements.
Hello everyone, today is Monday, April 6th, and it's a green day. All health classes will be meeting in South Church for class today. Mrs. McGarvin's B and DE Block Human Services students are reminded to meet after chapel on Brantview Drive to board the bus for our field trip to the College and Career Pathways event. We will return to campus around 2 o'clock. Juniors and seniors, Bishop's University and Clarkson University are on campus today. Please see Naviance or Mrs. LaBounty for details and to register. Be sure to check in with your teacher before attending. Attention international students. Any student wanting to take the May 9th TOEFL must register by 12 p.m. this Friday. See Mrs. McCaffrey in Colby 106 with any questions. There will be more meetings Tuesday and Wednesday this week after school for those interested in getting more information about the Costa Rica trip. We will meet in Mrs. Kendall's room, Streeter 209. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday or Wednesday. We want to wish all our Skills USA members good luck as they compete in the Skills USA competitions this week for automotive service, baking, culinary arts, electrical, plumbing, and welding sculpture. Happy birthday today to Ace Irwin and Michaelan Johnson. Happy birthday. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Sophia. So happy Monday, everyone. It's good to be here with you this morning. So it's not the first time that I've seen snow on the crocuses in front of my house. It might be the first time it's made me feel this precise species of exasperation. But just Saturday morning, my husband and I were out in the spring sun, turning our runaway hedge of rugosa roses into a landscape covered with little bouquets of sticks. I'm assured that this is the way to do what's called a hard reset of bushes like these, so I'm hopeful that they will come back strong, but it still felt sort of painful, like giving Rapunzel a buzz cut. On Friday, I met with the Voorhees and Colino senior advisory groups at my home and had some delightful conversation with them about what they're excited about and proud of right now and how they plan to finish their final semester at the Academy. I want to thank them by saying that April is National Poetry Month, so you can anticipate some bucket list moments in the days to come. We have a special guest this morning who is here visiting us from the Weatherhead Center at Harvard University as part of our Colwell Center Scholars Program. To introduce her, please welcome the director of the Colwell Center, Mr. Arain.
Good morning, everybody. It is my pleasure this morning to introduce Ifrah Wali. As Dr. Howell said, she is here from Harvard's Weatherhead Center, where she has spent a year as a scholar and fellow. Our guest is from the city of Gilgit in the province of Baltistan in the country of Pakistan. And you might know that many of our guests are hard academics or sometimes involved in politics. Well, today's guest is involved in sports. And she is a downhill skier. And she has made her mark in international competitions, particularly in South Asia. She won her first gold medal in India at the inaugural South Asian Winter Games in 2011 again, and has won many gold medals and prizes since. But since then, she has also been involved in developing winter sports infrastructure in her home country. And so that means things like ice rinks for ice sports, that means developing ski infrastructure, etc. And so I'm going to cut this short and let her share some things with you. Please give a warm welcome to Ifrah Wali.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Glenn, for the kind introduction. Thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be in Vermont and to speak with all of you. As Glenn kindly mentioned, my name is Ifrah Wali. I'm a national skier from Pakistan. I come from Gilgit-Baltistan. It's a region surrounded by 3 of the world's highest mountain ranges, the Himalayas, the Karakoram, and the Hindu Kush. Winters there are long and harsh, and temperatures drop below freezing temperatures, just like they do here. You might think a place like that would be perfect for winter sports, and in some ways it is. But growing up, my reality was very, very different. When I started skiing, everything was a challenge. We didn't have proper ski infrastructure. We didn't have ski lifts. We didn't have slope pressing machines. We didn't even have proper equipment. Sometimes we had to share gears. Sometimes it didn't fit. And sometimes it was completely broken. There were no world-class training facilities, no professional coaching systems like you might have here. And being a girl in sports in a conservative religious society was a challenge of its own. There were people who genuinely believed that girls should not be skiing or competing or traveling for sports. I was told by my community members, by my relatives, by people around me that it was unbecoming of me, that it was immodest, that I should not choose something that is so public and so open. I should choose something that is a lot easier, something a lot more socially acceptable. There were also a lot of practical challenges, training in freezing temperatures with very limited resources, and still trying to compete against athletes who have had access to the best facilities and support throughout their whole lives. I had many moments of doubts where I felt like everything was a tiny little bit more unfair than for others. But I kept going. I loved skiing and I had to keep going. I realized that if I stopped, then the path that would remain difficult for those who come after me, but if I continued, maybe it would become just a little bit easier for the next girl. When I had first started skiing, I was the only girl on the slope. In fact, when I first participated in the national championships, I was the only girl there. I was participating with boys in the boys' championship because there were no girls skiing. The people there would question my presence, but slowly, through consistency, because I was showing up on the slope day after day, year after year, by winning medals, criticism started to fade, and little by little, other girls also started showing up. There was one moment, though, that truly changed how I understood the impact of sports. After competing medals, after winning, after living my life as an athlete, I moved into winter sports infrastructure development. I became a part of Winter Sports Federation, and I started organizing competitions. I was organizing the first ever National Grass Skiing Championship in Kashmir. During that time, a group of high school girls arrived with their principal. They were covered in veil from head to toe. They told us they wanted to participate in the training camp and compete in the championship. These girls had never seen skis before in their lives. They asked me something very specific. They asked if they could ski while keeping their veils on. They wanted to keep their identities hidden. I was very curious, so I asked them why, and what they told me has stayed with me since. They said that they were afraid of being recognized. They had come to the camp without their permission of their parents or without their families knowing. And then they asked me another question. They asked me that will they receive a participation certificate? I said, yes, of course, it's a championship. You will receive a participation certificate. And this was something that mattered to them the most. Because for them, skiing was not just a sport, it was their only way out. They were in high school, there was no university nearby. They knew that their families would not allow them to study further if it meant spending money or sending them into another city. But they had heard that through sports, through competition, through participation in the national championship, they will be able to earn a sports scholarship. That certificate, that participation, and that competition, to them, it was a chance, a possibility, and a way to fight for a different future. A future that they were not confined to the borders, to the boundaries of their own homes. In that moment, I realized something very important. Something as simple as sport can completely change how a young girl sees her life. It can give her hope, it can give her direction, and it can give her the courage to dream beyond what she has been told is possible. And that is something I want to share with you today. Challenges are not always a sign that you should stop. Sometimes they're a sign that what you're doing is very important. All of you will face challenges in your own life. They might not look like mine, but they will be there, whether it's pressure, failure, self-doubt, or feeling like you don't belong. In those moments, it is very easy to give up. But growth doesn't happen when things are easy. It happens when things are difficult and you choose to keep on going. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to take the next step. Sometimes that step is simply showing up, even when it's hard. Currently, you're all students in a school with remarkable resources. I say this not to make you feel guilty, but because I think it is worth naming clearly. The opportunities you have access to, the teaching, the coaching, the facilities, the safe space to try and fail and to try again, the teachers who see your potential, these are not universal. Most young people in the world do not have them. What you have here is not just an advantage, it is a responsibility. A responsibility to not take these opportunities for granted, a responsibility to use your time with intention, a responsibility to explore, to fail, and to try again, not because you have to, but because you can. Pay attention to where your passion lies, and once you find it, pursue it with discipline and honesty. You don't have to change the world overnight. You don't have to carry the weight of everyone else's struggle, but you do owe it to yourself to make something meaningful out of the opportunities in front of you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wally, for starting our week with such an inspiring moment. All right, everyone, let's take this into our week. Thank you so much, faculty.
I'll be at the top tonight, so I hope everyone something good.
Is it at 7?